What a project, what a project, wow. I guess you all think I would be mad to consider this. Well folks, I've just returned to Indonesia, back on Trade Runner, all the way from a quick trip to Australia to look at Ivanhoe, the 54-foot aluminium ex-race boat from the last video. Well, now it's time to show Marie what I saw there and hear her verdict and discuss whether we want to take on this huge project or not.
So Vern went for 3 days. The first 3 days I was by myself with Eli, which was already a thing. And yeah, I was not knowing much about this boat. The ads was not showing much pictures and not having more details. And during these 3 days I had Vernon on video call a little bit. I saw that it was a big mess, that's for sure. But I didn't really have a precise idea much more than it was a mess. But I had 3 days of big emotional waves, half excitement and half stress, thinking of going on land. Like, if we are going for this project, it's gonna change a lot of things. For a year we would be on land. We would move in Australia, which is a big thing too. And yeah, it would change absolutely everything in our everyday life for a while, which is, yeah, half super exciting, and I think it would be nice to have a bit of renew in our routine. But also it's super stressful to imagine to not living in the boat and, yeah, having a big project like this. But yeah, I'm pretty much ready to watch what Vernon saw and, yeah, trying to discuss if it's a good idea or not.
Well, so there you can see there's not that much headroom in that top part of the cabin. Like a few people have mentioned as well, the quality of the welding on all this new section is terrible. So this is where I knew this was not for us, because straight away he's like emptying out bilges or trying to, so it's full of fucking water. So,
he was doing that for you.
Yeah, but that's just, it leaks so much that he couldn't keep up with it, and the bilge pumps are all crap. But I just knew that if the bilges are full, then it will have corrosion. That's just the way it is. Okay, so we've looked through the footage together. I've pointed out some things to Marie that she didn't probably, well, wasn't aware of, but now it's time to get her verdict. What do you think?
To be honest, I'm way less excited than I was before watching the footages. That's a really big project, a huge project, and I'm not even sure it's a project that could be really achieved. Yeah, by what I could start. First, like, from the ad it was looking probably a bit more like a safe and strong boat, and now seeing a bit better in the footage and a bit from closer, it looks a bit like yeah, something that someone did in his garden. Like, it's not looking that good and safe, and even if I know we are ready to imagine it's a project, it's gonna be not something that it's feeling homey and I can jump straight in it. I can't really imagine myself in it, and especially as a family. Like, I would like the whole goal to change from Trade Runner to this kind of boat would be in a safer boat, a boat that we could go in more rough weather and maybe colder weather. And I don't know, I don't feel this boat that strong and perfectly made, but yeah, I was not there. And on top of it, I don't have the spark. Like, Alien, it took a bit of time to appreciate it because I had no experience of boats before. But I was really in love with a lot of things, and Trade Runner, from the ads, we were like, oh wow, that's a super nice boat. And yeah, this one, I don't have my heart saying go for it. Definitely not.
Okay, so I was sort of expecting Marie's take on that, and I think that's pretty typical in most situations. The female will do more of the emotional, I can't feel myself sort of thing, and the male will have the specifics of the wiring and all this in his head, and he's not really imagining, I don't know, the emotional vibe of the boat. But, and yeah, in this situation, it's exactly that too, because I know exactly all of the things that say no. Basically, well, I'll go back. The only reason I went and looked at this boat, and a lot of you think I just wasted my airfare going there, and it turns out I might have. But this used to be a race boat. A guy bought it 10 years ago to convert it. He started working on it, did a lot of work, as you can see, put a doghouse, all the stuff on it. Seemed to have a bit of an ass about face brain, did a lot of stuff that made no sense, like put sails on and all this stuff when the boat wasn't being used. Anyway, a lot of his work wasn't really up to the standard of the first original build. Unfortunately, this guy died of cancer really fast and left it to his mate, who was the guy who advertised it and wants to sell it. So the guy who wants to sell it doesn't really know anything about the boat or much about sailboats. So he couldn't give me any info over the phone other than what was in the ad. And I was curious, we were curious enough to be like, well, there's no way we're going to find out more about this unless we go and look at it. And I'm the sort of person that if I don't just do it, it'll be stuck in my head. Oh, is that a missed opportunity? And it'll just go round and round in my head and it'll drive me crazy. So I'm like, I'm booking a flight. I'm going to look at this thing. Turns out, probably could have saved the money. But as I said, you'll never know until you go. So I was on the boat 30 seconds, put my head in the door, and that's when I realised I wouldn't be doing this project. So I'll give you the reasons, but they're probably all very obvious to you. And going off the last video, well, yeah, all of you guys are right. It probably would be a 5-year project and a $250,000 project. But as I said in the last video, my criteria were 12 months, give or take, and 100,000, give or take. As soon as I put my head in that door, I realised neither of those criteria would be met. So for me, it was a no-go. So I stayed on board and looked around because I can always learn something from all of this. But from what I learned was the wiring was catastrophic. They would have to be torn out. The layout was catastrophic. Everything would have to be torn out. Everything leaked. The bilges were full of water. The current owner had done some bodgy bilge pump wiring and bits of stray copper wire had fallen down to the bilges. Corrosion would be happening all the time and probably had been for 10 years. All the stuff on the top sides, the new furlers, the new sails, the new rigging, 10 years ago new, never used. Raymarine gear, never used, 10 years old. Can basically chuck it all. Such a shame to see a beautiful big boat like that. But as a lot of you said, it was designed for racing rules. And the other thing, none of you guys saw the underwater profile. I did. It had a weird keel for a race boat. There's only 2-meter draft, which is strange for a race boat. Had a big bulb with wings on it, apparently 6 or 7 tons, who knows. So it would have had okay stiffness, but a really weird draft for a race boat. And yeah, who knows. If there was any sort of corrosion in the hull, which I'm pretty much guaranteeing there would be, well, that would be out anyway, even if a lot of the other stuff was good, because you're not going to go and replace all of the, wherever the corrosion is. You'd just be chasing your tail forever. So no, this was pretty much clear from me from the get-go.
First, probably you are wondering why we are looking for a new boat and if we are really not happy with Trade Runner or anything. And just we are dreamers and we are not really talking about that, but we are loving to just imagine ourselves in many places, and we are always watching ads, even if we are not like desperate to find another boat, but just curious about a lot of things. And yeah, we just saw this ad and we were, why not?
Yeah, and probably a lot of you don't know, actually, when we sold Schiehallion, we weren't looking for a cat. We were actually looking for 42, 45, 46 foot monohull, heavier displacement, because Schiehallion was obviously an ex-race boat and very bouncy, and Marie, as you know, had seasickness and things like that. In Brisbane, we went and looked at a Norseman 46, which is a big, heavy, teak-decked centre cockpit, sort of like a Moody variation of boat. And well, we didn't really like that. It was 200,000 and the teak deck and all that. She really liked it, and looking back, it was an absolutely amazing boat. The English couple had looked after it amazingly and all that. But when the cat ad came up, Trade Runner, I guess it was more me being very curious about. I'd never even sailed on a cat. I had sundowners on some cats, but never sailed on a cat, and I was just curious. I'm like, wow, can you really just do 200-mile days on these things and everything's flat and all that? So we're like, yeah, well, why not just give it a whirl with the cat? And we have loved it, probably so much that we've actually forgotten about what monohull life is really like.
Yeah, exactly.
You
like
know?
right now, we are in a place with a small swell, and there's these two boats next door who are rolling. We can see them all day long, and we are feeling nothing here. So yeah, maybe we are also a bit too optimistic about going back to a mono, and maybe we would not appreciate it.
Yeah, but I've always wanted to circumnavigate New Zealand, go to the Chatham Islands, potentially Philippines, Japan, Aleutians, around to Alaska, Canada, back down the US coast, and then top of my list, working up to it one day, would be go to Patagonia and spend 1 or 2 years. I've spent hours looking on satellite images of all that area, the channels and the fjords and everything in there. It's a massive goal of mine, and we couldn't do that in a boat like Trade Runner. It's just too flimsy. You can't heat it, not insulated, like condensation, all those sorts of things. The rig's not strong, like it's just not the boat for that. You don't take a Ferrari out into the Sahara Desert, and that's just reality. And we can't afford a Delos type expedition aluminium catamaran. Believe me, I would just go for that if I had the money.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in Indonesia lately, and we are just trying to find where gonna be the next adventures, and this boat was potentially a good opportunity to trying to go sailing in colder area.
We still have 2 or 3 years worth of plans for Trade Runner. Later this year we're actually sailing back to Australia, possibly Kimberley's, during cyclone season, back around to the east coast. The plan after that, we'd probably do some sort of a refit. But the plan after that is Vanuatu for a season, then probably continue out to Fiji for a season, and then who knows, maybe some more Pacific Island stuff. We might stay up in that region for a couple of years. That's sort of the plan. We're not desperate to just change everything right away, but these sorts of aluminium expedition project boats that we can afford possibly don't come up all the time. So when one does, we're serious about, we might have to jump on this, and
ready to go anywhere.
Yeah, and ready to go anywhere in the world. So if you know of a project boat anywhere in the world, well, give us a heads up. We might come and look at it. But at the same time, we're not actually in a rush, because it would involve selling Trade Runner really fast and getting rid of all our gear and going somewhere else, which we're up for, but only really for the right project boat. This one in Australia was not even close to being the right project boat. Not even close. But I don't regret it. I spent $1,000 on a flight ticket and the travel and whatever, but I don't regret that. I learned a lot. Yeah, moving on. We'll see what the next one shows us, and in the meantime we'll continue to enjoy our life on Trade Runner and hopefully show you what we're doing. We've got some interesting stuff coming up. We're heading from Lombok back east towards Raja Ampat, Papua, and then potentially Kimberley's for a couple of months, and so we've got a lot of miles coming up in the next 6 or 7 months, and we'll continue to bring you these videos, and I hope you enjoy them. See you next time. Bye bye.